Hey everybody, I'm Kat Tesla. I've been an artist since 1997, and today I wanted to share my thoughts on jealousy. What do you do if you're jealous of another artist's success? Here are 10 things you can do when you're jealous of another artist's success. So, the first thing to do is acknowledge it. It's totally natural and normal to feel jealous at times. So I think you just need to be honest with yourself and name it for what it is. The next thing you can do is shift your perspective. And this is hard. So instead of seeing another artist's success as a threat, view it as inspiration and motivation. So, in other words, their success is showing you what is possible for you. It's something that is proof. So if another artist is doing a museum show or selling large paintings or multiple paintings at one time or whatever it is, they are your example. And the other piece of this is that their success has nothing to do with your own potential. I know there are many people that think there is one pie. So the pie of success, if one artist has a bigger piece, then that would mean I'm going to get a smaller piece. And I just don't buy that. I think that the world is full of many pies. So I can have my own pie of success. I don't have to worry that another artist's success influences my own. I just don't think that's true. Celebrate another artist's success. When you cultivate a mindset of abundance and celebrate the achievements of others, it really can bring you something back. The more you give, the more support, the more happy you are for others, that kind of support will come back to you. That artist that you're jealous of could actually be teaching you something. As I said before, they are the example, and you want to foster a supportive art community around you, not one where you feel like you're less than and everybody else is doing great. And focus on your own progress. So put your energy towards your own growth and your own goals rather than spending time watching other people and what they're doing. This is something that I think is easy to do, especially when you first get started. It was the number one mistake I made when I first began showing my work. I was, when I first got out there, I could see that there were so many other artists better than me. And it freaked me out. It made me feel even more of an imposter. And my energy was therefore directed outward. And it took me a while to course correct that. But it's much better to focus your effort and your energy towards yourself, your own growth, your own goals, and set realistic, milestones for yourself. And again, if this other artist can do the things you want to do, why can't you do them? Embrace your individuality and find your unique voice. So, what is it that makes you tick? Celebrate your artistic style. You have your own unique and special way of how you use color, how you do your mark making, your compositions, your layering. Your body of work is yours and yours alone. So, improve it. Really go deeper into what makes you tick. That might mean you need to take a workshop, um, bump up your skill set, but really focus on your individuality. One of the biggest things you can do if you're jealous of another artist's success is to limit social media exposure. So I would recommend a social media vacation. And I'm talking about at least 2 weeks, preferably a month. But if you remember back before we had social media, I bet that you never felt jealous and you didn't feel so much imposter syndrome and you didn't feel that you were any less than any other artist. But social media is really something that has changed the landscape for how we feel about ourselves as artists. So limiting it can be a balm and help you heal and go back to focusing on what you do the best. I would consider changing where you get your inspiration. And what I mean by that is we often will start scrolling on social media and look at other artists' work, and that's all we do. But if you remember back before we had cell phones, we actually had to get in our car and drive into the world and go see some art in person. We had to go to museums, go to galleries, and even look at art books. Those are the things to go back to, return to that and explore other genres and mediums, look at different historical periods, start broadening your perspective and get excited and interested about art making again without the jealousy part. So, there's nothing like seeing art in person at a museum or a gallery. It's a whole different experience, and it can be the thing that fuels you to get back into the studio and just to work on your work and feel good about it. Gratitude is super important. Practicing gratitude for the progress you've made in your own artistic journey without comparing yourself is big. You have made, you've made progress. You've taken big steps. Your work is evolving. You're working hard. And so reflecting on your own achievements and really feeling grateful for how you've progressed and where you are and being honest with yourself, that's important. Gratitude is a really good mental state to be in, and it will help thwart jealousy in a big way. Connecting with supportive peers. So, who do you surround yourself with? Surrounding yourself with other artists who know you, who understand your work, and who support you. That's a really important piece of the puzzle. Having shared experiences and positive conversation and mutual engagement and mutual respect will help build your self-esteem and your trust in yourself, which those things can kind of be torn apart or fade when we're jealous of another artist's success. And finally, channeling jealousy into motivation. So ultimately, you're probably jealous of somebody else because they're doing what you want to be doing. But if you step back and you really look at things objectively and you say, okay, they just won an award, but was I even in the exhibit where I could have won an award like them? Did I paint large paintings where I could sell them like they just did? Did I work hard to get into a gallery where I see that they're in a gallery that I'd like to be in, but have I even taken any steps, to be in that gallery? So if you backtrack and you're really honest with yourself, it could be that you have not done the work or acquired the skills or pushed the boundaries to do the kinds of things that they're doing. And you might be jealous because their life and their achievements are a reminder of what you're not doing. And that can be, feel like being hit with a 2x4. So step back and get honest, I think would be super important, and think about what is it that you really want to do? And are you willing to do the work to get there? It might be that you realize, I don't want to, I don't want to do all this work to get into that exhibit, or maybe I'm not really ready for that gallery or whatever. You might step back and examine this and realize that the things you're jealous of aren't really things you're willing to do anyway. So being honest is critical to understand all of this. And finally, this is common. The art community is small. I think social media and gallery success that we see often on social media or in real life can make you compare your own progress to another artist's success. And every artist feels this at one time or another. But I would say at the end of the day, you have to learn from it and then move on, because your art and your journey are worth it. You're unique, and the world wants to see your art.